right, Shabbat Shalom. Salah. We're the Hebrew Israelites. We come in and week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, also known as the United Snakes of America, Egypt, Nineveh, Sodom, in the spirit. All right? To wake up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indian, speckled birds. Get you to repent, acknowledge your offense, pray for forgiveness, and get yourself in order. All right? And first and foremost, and as always, all praise is due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim HaKadosh. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. And Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, and salutations to all the brothers. I'll push you the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. All right, so lamb backing off of yesterday's camp. The Spirit is kind of directing towards two things right now. Okay, we're in the time of everything being revealed, right? Starting right at the Most High's own sanctuary. All right, now who's being revealed? False prophets are being revealed. Okay, the heads of these camps are being revealed. And stragglers, hangers-on, and false prophets are being revealed right now. What the mark of the beast truly is being revealed right now. These are the two things that the Spirit has everybody on. All right? On the C hip and on who disagrees with the C hip. So two birds with one stone. And this is an important stone. It's a rock, it's a stumbling stone. Right? A stumbling block. And not only that, the Most High is revealing, right? If you've been in this thing and you've been a demon the whole time, that's being revealed right now through the Spirit. Why? Because that's the time that we're in right now. You thought the Most High was playing when he said he was going to start at his own house? All right, and so what does that mean? What does that mean that we're in that time of being revealed? All right, let me start with myself. What does that mean? I better look in the mirror and make sure that my house is clean. All right, how does any individual look at anything that's going on in the spirit? You start with yourself. So let me start with me, right? Am I perfect? No. I'm striving to be perfect. Do I have things that I need to work on? Absolutely. Now is the time to do it so that you're revealed for working on those things instead of being revealed for not giving a shit because it doesn't apply to you. Well, that don't apply to me. You don't want to be caught saying that ain't talking about me, when most likely it is. Okay? Speaking for myself, because that's where you start. Slocky, bear with me. This is the book of St. Luke 8 and 17. For nothing is secret that will not be revealed, nor anything hidden that will not be known and come to light. So whatever you've been getting away with for years, in some cases, a couple of years, I came in a couple of years ago, in some cases, months, in some cases, decades. All right? I could step forward and say, I have things that I've been working on for years, for decades, and been failing. All right? And now is the time, right, to get those things behind you, right? I'll give you an example. Drinking, or drinking too much. Do I have a drinking problem? I would say no, okay? Somebody else, especially a drunk, will point at me and say, yeah, you got a drinking problem, Mark, right? Usually it's the one that has a drinking problem that appointed somebody, right? And project his problem onto somebody else. But the task is to determine whether you have a problem or not. All right? Now, there are people that drink too much, right? They know they drink too much, but they can't stop. All right? So, what do? You got to check yourself. You go to the mirror, you look in the mirror, and you say, do I have a drinking problem? Everybody else seems to think so. So let me go look in the mirror, look myself in the eye, right? And say, do I have a drinking problem? What do? How do you check that? Well, stop drinking. Okay? You just stop drinking. So I did that. Coming up on a month, right? And it pretty much confirms what I suspected, that I don't have a drinking problem. I drink because I want to drink. If I want to stop, I'll stop. I can stop and don't have to drink ever again. All right? I don't think that that's necessary, but every now and then, stop to show yourself that you can stop. I could do this for another 6 months if that's what I chose to do. Guess what? The Shabbat, not the Shabbat, Salah. The Pesach is coming up, right? And you're going to have a glass of wine in your hand. You're going to have some lamb. Oh, I'm a vegan. Well, I don't eat meat. Well, guess what? On the Pesach you will. All right? And I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying. If I wanted to stop drinking, right? Because I had a problem, then I would. Because it's a matter of whether you can or not, okay? But anyway, now is not the time to be drinking a lot. Now's the time to be sober. Now's the time to have your wits about you. Now is the time to be circumspect. The time that we're in right now, okay? What time is that, Ock? That time is you're supposed to be hastening that all of the prophecies come to pass this year. That's the time we're in. Okay? So if that is the order of the day, then you should have your wits about you. Not saying you can't have a drink, but however much you were drinking, right? Because you thought you had some time. And again, this is for me. This is my outlook on it. At least cut that in half. At least show yourself that, hey, what time are we in? Uh-oh, let me get this together. There's a couple of things that I had to check. And this is where we should be. All right? Because if not, if you don't have control of those things, guess what? It will be revealed that you have these problems. All right? For me, all right, everybody has to check themselves on carrying grudges. All right? I got to check that. That's something that is going to be revealed if I don't get a hold of that, right? And what does the scripture say? Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's just get something real quick. Grudge not. See, these are little things that that will catch you. These things might apply to you. So instead of somebody coming and checking you on it, check yourself. That's what this is. All right? This is an example of that. James 5:9, grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Now is not the time to be slipping up. Now is the time to be looking at the tape and measuring how many steps and how hard you can go before hitting the tape. The tape being the finish line. Grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. We're in a time of great judgment. The door is the finish line. You're supposed to endure until the end. Well, you can't do it holding no grudges. I have to get that. This is a demon that I got to go back and grab. Put him in a headlock and control him and kick him out. All right? So, what do you have to work on? All right? Or, what do I have to work on? Well, I have to work out my own salvation with fear and trembling. Right? So, I got to get in the mirror. Let's get that. Second Corinthians 13 and 5. Examine yourselves. Stop. Stop right there. Examine yourselves. Stop right there. Hey, the judge standeth before the door. We're in the time of great judgment. What are you supposed to be doing? Working out your own salvation with fear and trembling. How do you do that? Well, you can't fix nothing if you don't see nothing that needs to be fixed. You can see it in everybody else. Can't wait to rebuke somebody, right? Except for yourself. Let's read that again. 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. Examine your, stop right there. Examine yourself. Stop right there. What does that mean? That means go to the bathroom and lock your door and look in the medicine cabinet with the mirror on it. Look in the mirror. Is there just one little thing that you got to work on? Or are there many? Right? You got to make that determination. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. You know, the last thing you want is to think you made it, right? You think you made it. This is me. There's hella dogs running around here unleashed. Here it is. You think you made it. Yahushua's gonna walk up and say, I don't know you, nigga. I don't know you. That's the last thing you want to happen. How do you prevent that from happening? You want to be able to say this, that you gave it everything. All right? If that happens, you want to be like, I gave it everything. What is everything? Well, going into the bathroom and locking the door and having a discussion with the mirror, right? You can't leave that. That's part of working out your own salvation with fear and trembling. These are the instructions. Don't be a fool and not take heed to sound instruction. Here it is. You can't say that you didn't know these things. You didn't know. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know I had to go look in the mirror. 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahushua HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates? Don't you know? Little pack of dogs. It's only two, but I saw one earlier. They look pretty domesticated. It's a German Shepherd and a Husky. You know how German Shepherds train not to like Judah, right? Philippians 2 and 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Work out your own salvation. Okay? Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. We all know that. It's your fault. Second Corinthians. How do you work out your own salvation? With fear and trembling. First thing you do is you say, are you of the elect? You would never say that you're of the elect. You would say, I'm of the hopeful elect. Lord, if it be the Lord's will. You tread lightly. You have a contrite and a broken spirit, not proud. Proud says, I'm of the elect. Don't do that. That's stupid. A proud man don't look in the mirror to examine himself to see if there's a problem. A proud man is shaking his finger at somebody else all day with 3 other fingers pointing back at himself. Don't be that guy. Not now. Okay? Don't be exposed. Don't be revealed in this time of judgment as being that guy. I'm watching it right now. I'm watching, people be revealed. Right? Here's what I don't want. I don't want somebody watching me be revealed. How do you got to get ahead of that? Get ahead of you being revealed to everybody. How do you do that? See, because the Most High, if it be of the Most High, you can't overthrow it. What would that be? You being revealed for being who you really are, who you've been all these years, and you haven't done a damn thing to correct it. You thought that you were good, so you go out and worry about everybody except for yourself. Salaki, bear with me for a minute. Salaki. It's up to you. We're in the 0 hour. You got to look at the doomsday clock, right? And make a determination. How close are we to them missiles dropping. Okay. Well, what's going to happen before those missiles drop? Well, people are going to be exposed. Not me. You don't want that to be. You got to say this. I don't want that for me. I'm saying it right now. I don't want that for me. Well, what is it that's going to be said about? Well, you're proud, you're arrogant. You know, you drink too much. Well, I don't want that to be said about me, so let me curtail that. The question now is, can you continue not drinking? Yeah, I can. Do you have to? I could drink in moderation if I wanted to. I don't know, right? What does everything start with? Everything starts with fear. Fear in the Most High. See, a nigga does not fear the Most High. A nigga is walking with his chest out and a garment on and fringes. Most likely the garment is a t-shirt, right? You walk in, you're proud, you think this is a game. You got no fear of the Most High. If somebody been in this truth going back 30 years and said a t-shirt is not a garment, right? Would you wear the t-shirt, put some fringes on it anyway? What if the guy that's been doing this for 35 years, what if he's right about that? What does that imply? It implied that you don't fear the Most High. Most High got this guy in here for 35 years. He's still doing the work. He's out there on the highways and the byways every week without fail. That doesn't scare you? Like, oh, wow. He fears the Most High. I need to have that proper fear. Everything begins with the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So when this man says, well, a t-shirt is not a garment, do you put the t-shirt, you go ahead and sew some fringes on a t-shirt? That's called not fearing Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And then you're just gone. You're basically out there wasting your time. At any moment you could go down. If you got on a t-shirt with fringes on it, and somebody who's been doing the work, still doing the work, who's got the longest track record for being out on the highways and the byways? We all know who it is. So when he says that the t-shirt is not a garment, right? And you do it anyway, most likely you're going to go get with a camp that wears t-shirts. And a camp that wears t-shirts, guess what? They're not listening to the old man. Chances are they have a whole different doctrine. And that should scare you. Like, you know what? I'm going to play it safe because I don't want to get my ass burned up. I fear the Most High. I'm going to listen to what he says. Because pretty much the Most High got to be dealing with him. He's still out here. He's still out here. Does the bubble eye blackfish still go out? Does Johanna still? Does Nate still go out every week without fail? Really, it's common sense. But apparently it ain't all that common. We know that. But that fear, though, okay? It's that fear. Some people don't have it. You're in this thing for a totally different reason, right? You want to be somebody. You want to be rich. You need a cloak for your wickedness, and the cloak is a T-shirt with fringes. Where's your fringes at? As though you're keeping the law. Nowhere in the scriptures does it describe a garment as a T-shirt with fringes, but it does many times say a garment down to the foot. That is not a T-shirt. So what law are you keeping? Where's your fringes at? They're not on a T-shirt, that's for sure. Where is the fear? Let's get it. What is the beginning? You got no knowledge, you got no wisdom. The beginning is the fear. You got no fear. You got on a T-shirt and shame on uh, Bishop Nate. Get the Bishop name out your mouth. Shame on you. You've got to use this guy as an example. You got on a T-shirt with fringes? Shame on you. You came up in the school. Proverbs 1 and 7. The fear, stop. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. So some of you got to go back to the beginning, right? If you find yourself kicked out, what do you do? If you find yourself kicked out of the camp, what do? You keep preaching the word. Pretty much you're going to be on your own. What does that amount to? It amounts to Philippians 2 and 12. Work out your own salvation. With what? I got kicked out of the camp. Let me say this. The day that I got kicked out of the camp, right, I never missed a weekend. I can honestly say, not one. This happened in 2012 or maybe 2013. I'm a little fuzzy now. But from the time I was taken aback, I was like, what? And I get it now. Whatever. You know, that was the spirit. Whatever happened, it was the spirit, right? You get that years later, right? Because the spirit doesn't make mistakes. Right? And that's a whole different story, but the fact is that I got kicked out of the camp, right? What do you not do? You don't stop. You don't take your hand off the plow, number one. And there were many times where I felt defeated, right? My heart wasn't in it. I'd go out on instinct, you know. And you look back on that, you know, 5-6 years later, you're like, I was really being tested, right? You look back on all these tests, and you chuckle, and you say, oh, the Most High was putting hell on me, right? But the one thing you don't do, what was it? Okay. So there's a guy named Slash, right? So this is a side story. Slash wore the top hat band called, in a rock and roll band, which at the time was the biggest rock and roll band in the world. It was called Guns N' Roses, all right? Rock and roll band, right? Now, Slash is a Jake, whether you understand that or not. Slash is a Jake. Anyway, Guns N' Roses broke up, Slash quit, right? Now, the biggest rock and roll band in the world, going back to the 60s, is a band called the Rolling Stones. And Keith Richards is the guitar player, just like Slash is the guitar player in Guns N' Roses, and Izzy Stradlin. But that's not the point. The point is that Slash quit, and he tells a story, and he says, he was speaking to Keith Richards, and he goes, well, what happened? He goes, well, I quit. And Keith Richards says, you never quit. You never quit. You never quit the band. Keith Richards is still, to this day, he's not dead yet. He should be. He's a walking fossil. But he should be dead by all by all accounts. His ass should be 6 foot under. He's not. He's still in the Rolling Stones. He never quit. Motherfuckers died around him. Charlie Watts is dead. Right? Mick should be dead too, but he's not. Mick is probably a Jake. Right? But Keith Richards said, you never quit. Right? The band. That's what he was talking about. So, in this truth, all right, it's not a band. If you get kicked out, you never quit. You don't quit. All right? You figure it out as a grown-ass man. Okay? And then you grow in this thing. What does that mean? You got to grow in this thing, right? What does that mean? Well, I say it all the time. You have to mature. When you look at this thing, right? Look at the elder apostle Tahar. If he came in when he was, I don't know, 17 or 18, he was a kid. He's a child. And I mean that in a worldly sense. He's a baby in the world. You know what he did? While in the truth, he became a man. You look at him now, right? He's running this thing. He's not no fucking kid at 60 whatever, too. You got kids that are 62 years old. Right? I know some. Some retarded, as far as maturity, retarded. I won't name no names, but so can it be done? It can be done. The elder apostle Tahar is an example of becoming a man in the truth, becoming a mature adult while serving the Most High. Okay? You got to grow in this thing. What does that mean? It means you have to mature. as a man of the Lord, as an adult, as a young man, you have to mature. You have to put off the things that you did as a kid. When I was a child, I spake as a child. Paraphrasing. You never quit. You take it cheerfully when you're reduced to a low estate. All of the instructions are in here. Are you I didn't finish it. Proverbs 1 and 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. There's a lot of fools out here, right? A lot of fools. Here's the instruction. Honor thy father and thy mother. Okay? Honor thy father. Okay? Ye younger, honor the older. All right? In the truth. So let me say this. Bishop Nate, right? What does he fall under? He falls under disobedient to parents. When you take that route early on, right? I mean, you don't have to like, whatever happened in the old school. You don't have to like somebody, but you have to, hold your tongue. You have to honor your parents in this thing. Is not the elder Apostle Tahar Nate's father in this truth? Am I wrong about that? Was Nate not in the elder apostles' camp? Or during the time that they were all in the same school? Was not the elder apostle a teacher at that time when Nate came in? And you know what? You can rationalize anything you want to. All right? You could go around shit and make up excuses and not heed, right, instruction. You could be a fool in this thing and be made to look like a fool. We're in the time of being exposed. And guess what? One minute you're saying, ain't no microchip. The next minute, you're worming your way back in, moron. Guess what? All of that shit, you know what? You're being revealed. And you don't want that to be you. All right? There's something called self-deprecation. Right? That goes to humbleness, right? Contriteness. You got to live in those things. And here's what happens. When you're working on your humility and your humbleness and your contriteness, here comes a nigga, right? A nigga's like this, oh, I'm finna take advantage of that. I'm gonna take advantage of that weakness. That's not weakness, dummy. That's strength. Up, you fucked up. You know you done fucked up. See? A nigga in the truth is like this. He's waiting to pounce. I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna make a name for myself in the truth. Waiting to pounce on your brother. There's no room for that. You're gonna be exposed. We're in the time of judgment. Shit that happened decades ago, guess what? And that's not what I want, you know? What are you supposed to do? First, you're supposed to be at peace with all men, if at all possible, paraphrasing, right? And somebody that did you dirty years ago, you're supposed to let that thing go. You're not supposed to grudge. supposed to let it go. And I've been working on letting things go for a long time. It still gets the better of me sometimes, and I really got to go back, right? You know what I need to do? Speaking as a man, spiritual man, Lord willing, I need to fast more. I need to pray more. I need to work on being spiritual. I need to work on walking in the Spirit. These are the things that I know. See, here we come. The new year comes around. You don't make a New Year's resolution, but you get scared when when the naming of the new year comes around. You're like, oh, I wonder what the title for the new year is going to be. You get anxious, right? Here comes the New Year's Eve of destruction videos, right? And you're all right. What's the new year going to be named, right? And so, and you're like, okay, well, 2023, a bunch of shit is going to go down, right? So you're like this, well, I need to get myself together. I need to clean house, right? And you think of the things that you need to get accomplished so that, here comes the Pesach. When the specter, right, of here comes the Pesach comes up, right? What do? Do you sit down, you pull up a chair and say, I wonder who's going to get kicked? Or do you worry about yourself? That goes back to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. When you get kicked out, if you get kicked out, right? First of all, don't get kicked out. How? Being humble, contrite, checking yourself, being silent. I always get on my woman. You got to be silent. She struggles, right? Well, guess what? That applies to me too. Show your woman that you can be silent, and then be silent, and then maybe she'll be silent. Maybe. But the point is that you got work to do on yourself. Now's the time to be doing it, right? What is that? That's maturing. That's growing in this. How do you grow in this thing? Well, you work on yourself. You look in the mirror and figure out what needs work. Gotta fast more. Gotta pray more. The scripture says, pray unceasingly. Everybody, guess what? There's room for everybody to pray more. Because I'm quite sure that nobody's walking around all day praying. Right? If you are, that's good. Okay. But could you, if you're not walking around all day in constant prayer, what does it mean unceasingly? That means without stopping. Right? Whoever's doing that, hey, you're in there. If you're not doing that, guess what? If there's one moment that you fall out of prayer, right? And I'm being silly, right? Making a point. Then there's room for you to pray more. A lot of room for me to pray more. So this is one of the things I got to work on. And the point I'm making is, just make a list of the things you got that you need to work on while you're looking in the mirror. This is for me. I've done that. Am I following through? I look back, well, stop drinking. Right? Working on the fasting, working on the praying. What else? do I need to add to this list of things? Contrite humbleness. These are the things that I need to work on. Because it's real easy for people to perceive me as being proud, right? I know that. So I got to work on that, right? I don't want to be perceived as being proud, right? If you know that about yourself, right, you got to take steps and measures to prevent that. All right. And what is that called? It's called working out your own salvation with fear and trembling. It's called growing in this thing, which equates to maturity, right? And then sharing that with the brotherhood. And Lord willing, this camp lesson is edifying to the elect, the hopeful elect. Right? Lord willing, the Spirit is flowing through me and the right words are coming out. You know what you need to work on. I know what I need to work on. Right? Maybe it is pride. Maybe I'm proud. You know, when you get in a mirror, say, "Am I proud?" If people, for me to say, "Well, people perceive me as being proud," well, maybe I am proud, right? How do I break that? Well, first thing you do is you recognize it. You confess your faults. Salakia, if I come off of as being proud, I don't mean to. That's something that I have to work on. Uh, Forgive me. Uh, I need to humble myself. I'm gonna work on humility. You know, because I don't want the Most High to destroy me. I fear the Most High enough that I'm tripping. Salaki, I'm tripping. I'm going to get myself in order. So, because why? The Most High starting at His own house. Look at these guys that are being exposed. I have to go here. Revelation 13 and 16. This prophecy is exposing snakes. Snakes are being ferreted out right now. Okay? You wake up and find out that, like what's going on right now. This thing right here, we knew that this shit was wrong. We knew that. Who didn't know that? Who didn't know that it was the wrong thing to trust your enemy who's got the longest track record of trying to kill you. Tuskegee, smallpox blankets, da 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 da. Right? It's the most subtle snake on the face of the earth. Right? What does his track record show? The track record shows this. He will stick a needle in you. Not for your benefit. This is one of his MOs. What does MO mean? Modus operandi. Right? How a motherfucker gets down. How a snake slithers. Right? How he's able to move. And people think that somehow that's okay. All right? His MO is he's going to poison you. Smallpox blankets. First of all, never trust your enemy. Right? Well, all we got to do is look back and say, well, we got smallpox blankets. Who was that targeted toward? Who was targeted with smallpox blankets? It's not hard. It's simple math. Amath. Simple truth. Okay? Jake. Was it Gad? Was Gad the target of smallpox blanket? Yes. Targeted by who? The enemy of Gad. Do you know who your enemy is at this point? You got so-called leaders, camp leaders, running you into the ditch saying, it's okay to trust your enemy. We're going to pull out some fuzzy math. Well, Esau, he want us to refuse it so he can have it all. I'm like, oh my God. I'm talking about ISUPK and what their take on the jab was. Well, they put it out there so we can say no to it and they can have it all. I'm like, who says that? That's a leader? That's your leader? So we should take it. What? We should trust our enemy because the trichinosis of your mind will not relinquish and allow you to therefore and justify the simple fact who are you following? And why? See, in this church, right? In the Baptist church, whoever's in there is doing what? Well, they're in there hiding their wickedness. That's a cloak. The Baptist church is a cloak for a nigga's wickedness. You're probably a sodomite in there, hiding it. Used to have to hide it. Now you declare it openly, right? But you used to have to hide that. And where would you go? You go to the church. Where they say, oh, well, don't do that. Well, he's not that. He's in the church, right? The pastor's son right there. So the Baptist church is a cloak for your wickedness. Apparently, so is some of these Israelite camps. when your leader can tell you that it's okay to trust your enemy for any reason. Let's do some deductive reasoning here. Well, they put it out there so that we would reject it, and now they got it all to themselves, so go take it. Okay, so here we are, 2 years later, motherfuckers are dying. Oh, well, go take the test, take the thing. Whoever said that, raise your hand and admit that you were wrong. Is that ever going to happen? Confess your faults one to another. Are you going to do what you're supposed to do? What happened to this? Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy. What happened to that? So, now that you've been proven wrong, after telling people to go take that thing, what does that make you now? That makes you the enemy. You got to know who your enemy is. That would be General Yahanna. You're the enemy now. It says never trust an enemy. So Esau is not your enemy because you trust him, right? Remember, take the shot. Remember that? Take the shot. So you gotta, according to him, he's the leader of all Israel, according to him. So the leader of all Israel told you to go take the shot. Now it's coming out that that was the wrong thing to do. Let's do some simple deductive reasoning. Am I wrong about what I'm saying? Is what I'm saying not true? Did he say go take it and give a reason that only an idiot would adhere to? So he is now the enemy. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Let's examine that a little closer. The first word is never. Never. Not just this one time. Hey, this one time, just this one time. No, it says never. So either that's not your enemy, Esau, the so-called white man, is not the enemy of the ISUPK or the IUIC, because they're making videos about, hey, we're going to go take the test. We're going to go, it's okay. Now, you know where this is going. It's going to the CHIP. There's something called gradualism. Okay? Here it is. We got a track record going back, let's say 800 years. Smallpox blankets go back 800 years. Tuskegee goes back, what, 100 years. Tuskegee involved a needle. A needle. Your enemy used a needle to do what? To compromise your immune system. To basically to kill you. To figure out how can we kill these adversary, right? So we should know better. Be not ignorant of anything in a large matter or a small. Okay? But you got the leader of an Israelite camp telling you that just this one time, well, we're going to outsmart him. We're going to outsmart the devil. The devil will kill his own to get at you. Right? No, the devil knows that, like some niggas don't. They don't understand a speckled bird. The devil understands a speckled bird. He got to get that in everybody's arm. He's so hell-bent on taking down Jake, right? He knows if he don't get it in everybody, he's going to miss some Jakes. He knows that. But you niggas don't know that. Okay, where is this going? This is going to, now you're exposed. Here we are 2 years later, 2.5, however many. Is it 3 years yet? You said take it. Now it's poison. People are dying. You're exposed. What's next? Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. This is what's next. That right there, right? What's next? You've already been exposed. Now you're being exposed on a higher level, right? How? Well, you got to do some backpedaling, some shuffling because of what you said. You've already been exposed, and now you're out there, right? Because with every day that passes, more and more, they have to come out and show their hand. See, when you keep it close to the vest, that's your poker hand. Here's your vest. You don't want somebody over your shoulder or somebody looking through your glasses and seeing the reflection. Right? But right now the devil is going like this. Hey, guess what? It's the chip. And they're going to tell you. We're in the point right now that the WEF, right? World Economic Forum. They're like this. Hey, guess what we're doing? This new world order, we are gonna cull the population. We gotta do it. No more meat. We got bugs. They're telling you. They're showing their hand. And when they show their hand, which they're doing right now, they're doing it right now. Niggas still can't see. It's like this. I know they're showing their hand, but my hand is in the way, so I can't see. There's going to come a time where you can't feign ignorance anymore because the devil is saying, like, hey, the devil himself who is administering the chip. Well, we got brain chips. We got hand chips. We got the infrastructure for the whole system is already set up. Guess what, nigga? It's the chip. And then you're going to have a nigga talk about, ain't no microchips. Standing on it. Why? It should be obvious to everybody what's going on right now. Why is this dude he's still creating like a gap-toothed snake. Oh no, he might come with a microchip, but that's not the mark. Why would he do that? You're already exposed. And niggas believe it. They see it with their own eyes, right? It couldn't be more plain. See it with their own eyes. That's not talking about this. This isn't what, and kudos, if you will, to the elder apostle Tahar. This isn't what Paul Salakia, John the Revelator saw on the Isle of Patmos when he was given the vision. This isn't what he saw. But rather he saw sin, right? John on the Isle of Patmos was given a vision. He saw that sin was the mark of the beast, and that somehow through sin you won't be able to buy or sell unless you have sin. That just fucking completely makes zero sense. So people are being revealed right now. Okay? Sure, these snake oil salesmen, right? Johanna's a snake oil salesman, and it's been proven. I'm sorry, you could come and beat me up. Bring the camp out. What'd you say about Commanding General Johanna? Well, the truth is that he's a snake oil salesman because he told everybody to go get the shot. And it turns out that guess what? Wasn't a good thing. Is he standing up saying that I was wrong and confessing his fault? No. He's not going to do that. He's going to come with a moron speech. If you would have listened to me, moron. Snake oil. Okay? Revealed. That's easy. These are easy reveals. IUIC, easy reveal. ISUPK, easy reveal. HOI, easy reveal. You know what it's going to come out? Since everybody's being revealed, guess what? Guess what the next reveal is going to be? The next level of revelation. You know what it's going to be? These guys were actively working with the CIA, with the FBI, whatever, with this organization through what is known as a 501c3 charter. And they were getting paid to mislead their own people. That's going to come out. Do we got to go back to the beginning of the camp? Let's go back. Let's go back to the head. Luke 8 and 17. Let's see what's going to happen. It's mind-boggling to see somebody continuing a lie. You've already been exposed for lying, but you're going to continue to lie? Either you really believe your own bullshit or, I don't know. Some people are under strong delusion. I understand that. Luke 8 and 17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known. Anything. That means whether you're, it came out years and years later that this nigga infiltrated the Black Panthers and set up a whole bunch of people by taking information back and forth. It comes out, that nigga was doing it? So there's not agents. People haven't been bought off. There is some funky reason why some of these so-called camp leaders, right, the heads of camps, famous ones, where is it that you get fame and fortune, right, in this truth? The kind of fame and fortune you're supposed to be getting is persecution and demonization. right? Because all publicity is good publicity, bad and good, right? Well, you're supposed to be getting the bad shit. If you're telling the truth, they're supposed to be demonizing, right? Well, who are they demonizing? Who is not getting interviews? Who are they plastering all over in the mainstream media? Certainly not the ones telling the truth. See, this devil is slick. First of all, he knows who's working with it, right? It's not a stretch that NYPD detective may be compromised, may be furthering his work. Sure is looking like that right now. Okay? Hey, there is nothing that won't be revealed. This is the Most High. Let's read some different versions. Luke 8:17 in the NIV. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed. NLT. For all that is secret will eventually be brought out. Salah. I'll start again. Luke 8:17 in the NLT. For all that is secret will eventually be brought into the open, and everything that is concealed will be brought to light and made known to all. So if you made a Faustian bargain, we all know already about the 501c3. How deeply does it go? Right? Like they say about this guy, Tariq Nasheed. This one guy, the Moor, who is exposing him, digging way deep in. He's like, well, the feds come to your house and deal with you every da-da-da-da. Is that when, the checkup happens, that you've been dealing with them for this long and da-da-da-da? Allowing you to make money and be fed. If you, let's say Lil Wayne, let's use Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is allowed to make money unless he does something that the higher ups, if he does something they don't want him to do, they will go straight after him and say, look, nigga, you didn't pay 15 cents in tax in the year 1995, and we got you. We're going to bring your whole empire down. That's how they get in. So if they had a problem with Nate, you think that they couldn't go find 15 cents in his books? And bring him down? If they wanted him off the street and not marching around the Staples Center, you don't think that they could go in and find the smallest infraction and bring the whole organization to naught? Of course they could. They could create it. They got somebody on the inside creating, right, a situation where they can actually do that. Then they got on the top, they got him. He's working directly with them anyway, until he wants to, turn good or whatever. These are polar opposites. GMS is the polar opposite of IUIC. Why? Somebody's got to be right. Somebody's right and somebody's wrong. Is the IUIC right? They're not using the name. Let's do a little fact checking here. Well, here's a video of Nate breaking down the name correctly. right? But he don't want that. He turned his back on that. He did what? Well, here he is breaking down the name perfectly. But he turned his back on that to do what? To not use the name. Can we just overlook that? Talk about the name. You know, the strong tower. The one you run into and that you're safe. He's not safe. He's not running into it. He's running away from it. Why? You did something so foul that you can't use the name. What else needs to be said? Do we have to, and we could just go down the list. The name, no Jacob's trouble, ain't no microchip. We could go down the list. Take the jumper. Something ain't right. Something is rotten in Denmark. Okay? It's pretty simple. The whole name thing, oh, well, we got the nigga in a video right here. There's so many videos, right? Proof. Prove all things. Hold fast to that which is good. Let's prove that you know the name. Why are you not holding fast? The name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, after you broke it down perfectly, that's not good. You're not holding fast to that which is good. Come on, man. It's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. This is 2 Peter 2 and 9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness and despise government. What is that, despise government? What is that? Okay. That's Nate despising the hierarchy of things. Right? At this point, when you hear stories of the old school and all that, including Johanna, okay, they all came up under the elder apostle Tahar. And I mean, it's pretty easy to see. When you want to break down right versus wrong, or righteousness versus unrighteousness, right? Where the hoes at? Right? You're supposed to abstain from all what is it? Abstain from all appearance, the water, of unrighteousness, of wickedness. Abstain from all appearance of, let me get it, appearance. Where the hose at with a bottle? Of evil. That's funny. That's funny. I remember a name yesterday. I was bringing out names, funny names, and Salakia. All right. Hey, you gotta have some balance. Somebody, yeah, you bringing out these old names. Hey, there's a name that comes up every now and then, and I forgot it yesterday. I remember the Chinese water rat. That's a funny name, right? The Chinese water rat, the Seattle snake, Mike the Hamite. It's just funny, all right, brother. It's just funny, all right. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. Abstain from all appearance of evil. Where the hose at? With a bottle of Tanqueray, or whatever the bottle was. Come on, man. But that's, that's ISUPK, right? That's them. After years of watching, right? Hell, I came across the audio the other day, right, on my computer. I'm looking through all this old stuff, and up jumps, I don't know, ISUPK radio. I forgot. I used to listen to it, and for some reason I recorded, and I was miffed when this guy said, "Oh, doing the butt," all of that was on a show. I recorded the show, and I heard him say, I'm like, there's nothing right about that, right? There's nothing right about him saying that. And so this was for the brief moment that I was actually in GMS. I cut the end of that thing, made it into a small clip, audio clip, if you will, and I took it to the higher ups, and it made its way all the way up to the top, and they still speak on that today, doing the butt and all of that. The original clip, I got it on my computer. I looked at it the other day. I'm like, I remember that, right? And then what's ironic is that's the reason that I got kicked out, because somehow I'm a homosexual or cross-dressing, which is a whole different subject. Funny, And again, I'm not any of those things. Never have been. But, again, for whatever reason, I'm put out of the camp. That is, the spirit doesn't make a mistake. I'm supposed to be on the outside for whatever reason. And what do? You never quit. You work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You humble yourself. You get in the mirror, you examine yourself. Right? You do what is necessary to make it through. And then when you see Yahushua, he doesn't give you the Heisman. So that's where this thing is. That's where we're at right now. Because guess what? We're going to get taken at Davos. They're all, illegal hate speech. You're going to get that soon, right? What does that mean? That was a topic at Davos, and they threw it at us. They threw a little, get ready. What does that mean? Illegal hate speech. That means they're writing legislation right now to do what? To get us off of the corner, to come against the First Amendment. What is the First Amendment? Freedom of speech. That's going to be stricken. That's what Davos was about. Davos is about getting us off the street. What does that equate to? It equates to the famine of the word. So, at some level, I'm not saying that the brotherhood is broken. Never. Okay. Guess what? The brotherhood extends from here to New York to all around the world by the unicorn. Okay? That's the brotherhood. But they're going to take the unicorn down, then what? Then it might be an individual thing. If they shut down the whole grid, unless you got a two-way radio situation, right? Baofeng, if you will, it's going to be hard to communicate. So at some point, right, it's good to be able to stand on your own 2 feet, right? Two are better than one, absolutely. But if it came down to just you, right? How you gonna fare? That's good training. It's good training to be able to stand on your own. Soldier means solitary, and we're in the middle of a war. So this is a good place to end. As good as any. Beautiful day out here. So with that, Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High, there it is, and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. We'll close the book, all right? So with that, all right, we can say, Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabbat Hashem Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us His truth. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. All right, Shabbat Shalom.